Yeah, it's the same emblem. So the fella whose museum this is, Mr. Nethercutt, he must have customized these to be his own. Wow, look at that. Look at that detail on there. Right there. Look at that. I can't get up to touch it because they have ropes here, but you can tell that it's kind of a thread-like material just from where I'm standing. The 1929 Graham-Paige. The Graham brothers started their own automobile company after having dealing with Dodge in 1927. Guys, I am so sorry about this sunlight. It's almost unavoidable. See, I'm trying to move my hands and block it, but they have a little bit of natural light in the front of this building. You can see right over there and over there, and every time I go near them, that's where we kind of get blackouts. But I'm working my way the opposite direction after this. So, the 1921 Lincoln, named after President Lincoln, of course. This car was originally owned by Dr. Fred T. Murphy, a big investor of Henry Ford's and the uncle of coach builder Walter M. Murphy of Pasadena. I don't care for the color. It's a beautiful car. I can only imagine how much it was to restore these kind of things. Getting those canopy tops that they had, and look at that. Look at that Lincoln logo. Here's a 1932 Lincoln. And then we're coming upon a 1936 Ford Deluxe Roadster. That's pretty cool. Do you think that opens up so that people can sit on the back? That's exactly what it looks like. Are you just allowed to ride around on the back of this thing, or no? Are those seats? Maybe you get inside. Yeah, I think you get inside. That's weird. Crazy. And here's a 1931 Ford that kind of has my sunglasses color to it. A quail radiator cap. Okay, so that's it. They just, some of these weren't just cool looking emblems for the top. They were actually radiator caps. I didn't realize that. Well, you learn something new every day. This is cool. 1930 Ford. Yep, that's definitely what those seats have to be. Because now I'm noticing it on the back of that car, and I'm noticing it on the back of this one. It looks like, I mean, it's part of the trunk. You can see it pulls down. Interesting. Oh man, now we're getting to some of the old schools. Looks like they have this whole place divided into like car maker, and it sort of, not completely, but 1915 Ford Model T. A Model T. I forget what my grandpa had, but I want to say that my grandpa had a Model A. Was his first car. I forget. I'm sure he'll comment, or he'll let me know, and I'll pass it on to you guys. And here's a 1925 Chevy. Built in Oakland. Speaking of Oakland, how about that basketball game last night, guys? debut game of the season, and we already have nixed that Golden State home winning record streak. Nobody saw that coming. Ooh, 1925 Durant. I've heard of Durant. The Star was built to compete with the Ford Model T, and the Durant was to compete with Oakland, which was Pontiac, I guess. Pre-Pontiac. Look at that emblem. I actually told my grandpa I was coming here, and he wrote me an email saying that this looked like one of the most impressive places he's ever seen. So I had to just hit every car in this one. Like I said, if some of you don't like it, it's just a different kind of vlog. Like I said, the vlogging is always based on like what kind of interests me, and though I'm not a huge car guy, I love the unique designs of all these. Look at that old school horn. Clown horn. Here's a 1915 Stevens Duria, which I've never heard of. And the canopy of it kind of has a military type look to it, in a way. Pretty roomy. It even has seats along the back, right here, and then like a seat on each side, and then one. So there's pretty roomy. Definitely a limousine type thing. 7-passenger touring. (1932) Marmon. It's funny. Do you guys hear the music that's playing overhead? Stardust. I always love that song because of Willie Nelson. It's funny because I just had that Willie Nelson experience recently. Ooh. Okay, 1931 Packard. That's more like it. Gene Harlow had a 32. But man, that is a beauty. Look at that. Oh, man. Let's see who owned it. Originally owned by movie star Irene Rich, she was a favorite of Will Rogers, who used her in many of his early movies. With age, Miss Rich became known as playing the mother role in many movies. She also had her own rodeo program, The Irene Rich Show. The car is restored to the condition it was in when she drove down the streets of Hollywood. Thank God for that. Look at that beauty. Man, that's gorgeous. Incidentally, that's how I would paint a car. I love the dark blue with a light blue trim to it. That's a big part of my color scheme in life. 1933 Pierce Arrow, owned by the owners of the Ador Farms, dairy farms. Look at the top. Canopy top. This way. Yeah. I've never heard of this one either. Goddess of the Moon. Oh, look at the stepping plates too. It's actually kind of a dark military green. Pretty cool looking. Oh, this is the one. That's amazing. It's a 1923 Moon. I'm drawn to words. I always have been. When I used to come up with song titles and album titles, I based it off of words that I just liked the look of a lot of times, and moon was one of those that always popped up into me. I just love that word, so seeing this car and how cool and beautiful it looks, and then it's called the Moon, and it's got a moon emblem, really winning me over. (1927) Pierce Arrow with the leather covering on the spare tires. Hadn't seen that to this point yet. 6-cylinder. After this, we're gonna go in. There's a little like Sportster room. Here's a 1972 Stingray. And goodbye Kissel with your golf club attachments.